今天时尚名人会的焦点人物呢，我们非常荣幸的访问到的是 Georg Jenson 的全球执行董事 Mr. Greg Pepin. Hi, Greg Pepin. Welcome to Taiwan, and thank you very much for joining my show. As we know, Georg Jenson is one of the best silver design brand in the world. So, what makes Georg Jenson so special and so unique?
I think its heritage and being around for over 110 years is the main focus. On top of that, we don't compromise with quality, and we represent a very good Danish design that's been continual over the three design periods: Art Nouveau, Art Deco, and the modern design. Georg Jenson had enormous global success in 1912 when he designed a bowl called the Louvre Bowl. It was bought as a permanent piece in 1912 by the Louvre Museum in Paris. Before that, Georg Jenson had success in Denmark, but after that he became known globally successful. Georg Jenson was also, as a business person, a very intelligent person. In fact, he did not need to get involved in anything. So from Johan Roh's design to his brother-in-law, Harald Nielsen, who designed in the Art Deco period. Art Deco was a very big period in Denmark. It was a period where post-depression and pre-World War II, where things economically were not that good. So it was a change from very ornate, happy design, as you might want to call it, Art Nouveau, over to a very cold, geometric kind of design. Georg Jenson design, and design in general, it depicts what's going on historical in the world at that time. And Georg Jenson was very fortunate to have a designer named Henning Koppel, who was one of my favorite designers. I think the core value of the company, and what's most important that people should understand about Georg Jenson, is we've been here for over 110 years, and we're going to be here for another 110 years.
Yeah, so it's a long history.
It's a lot of history. So the fact that you're speaking to me, I think 50 years from now, two other people will be sitting in the chair, but our company will still be here, and I think that's what our customers realize. It makes us a very investable silver company to purchase things from.
But I think, I mean, all the audience must be very curious about, not because of you are the managing director. Maybe we can say you can be the representative for the Georg Jenson, because your work for Georg Jenson is almost like 23 years already?
That's correct. Yeah. I would consider myself in the family with Georg Jenson, as well as Julia, who's in charge of Taiwan here. We have people that have been working for Georg Jenson. In fact, she's worked 3 years longer than I have. I just found out today. But in fact, we had a conversation earlier today about that. You're really, even though I have a larger title and I have an important position in the company, my stay here is only going to be a fraction of how long the company will last.
And we know Georg Jenson is not only a silver brand, okay? It's like the fashion style to the world, okay? So is there any special characteristic of design in Northern Europe?
There is. Again, it's back to organic design, so design that is not flashy. I definitely would say that we're not a flashy brand. We are, if we talk about our jewelry line, for example, we design jewelry so when you wear the jewelry, it complements your beautiful or your beauty. The same with hollowware. Hollowware is a bit more, hollowware, by the way, is any form of a candelabra or something that's hollow, made out of a large piece of silver.
Yeah.
The same thing if we talk about this egg after, which is actually the combination of a hollowware and a piece of jewelry. So the whole theme, or the whole core value, again, to get back to that of our company, is to make something you put in your house, produce something, hand make it, or a piece of jewelry that enhances your home or enhances yourself, but it's not flashy. It doesn't take away from you. I think everybody wants to know what your brand stands for today, and a lot of people say, well, are you an art company? Are you a design company? I think we're both of those. In fact, I would call us an upper-level luxury art and design company, and that's what we stand for. And a lifestyle company. I mean, our jewelry brand is very much a lifestyle.
I think Asia and Europe has very different design kind of feel, okay? When you visit Taiwan, okay, did you ever try to compare the difference?
I don't try to compare the difference. I try to see who inspired who and what associates somewhere else. But obviously, because Asia is so much older, if you go to North America, for example, everything comes from somewhere else in North America. But if you look at Europe, which is old as well, a lot of our design is actually inspired by Asian design. As I mentioned before, the Ming Dynasty inspired a lot of Danish furniture today, a very famous, the chairs we're sitting in. But it also inspires our brand a lot. As people travel the world as well, we're a company that we listen to to our customers.
We are pretty sure all your VIPs, okay, they have the loyalty very much about your brand, and they just follow your steps, okay, because they're really crazy about your old collections.
Georg Jenson's own designs are very Art Nouveau, and the last really good designer, we still have another one after that, but a very good designer for us in the 40s, 50s, and 60s was Henning Koppel. The two designs couldn't be more far-fetched from each other, even though they're not, but we have clients who buy very traditional, that is very ornate silver, but because they're so loyal to the brand, they also tend to buy a piece of Henning Koppel, very modern silver. And to me, that means the brand is much stronger than I am as a person. I'm only representing the brand, but it also means the brand has very, very big strength. When you have clients that will buy from one end of the design scale to the complete other, and because it's Georg Jenson, they'll buy it. And that's a lot to live up to. There's a lot of responsibility on our behalf.
And we know you have in charge that there's a very big and very important exhibition all over the world, like London, Chicago, Australia, New York. Could you please share some of your idea about this exhibition?
Yeah, a lot of these exhibitions are actually heritage exhibitions. Yeah. So heritage, if you don't know, we have two parts of the company. And another area I'm in charge of is Georg Jenson Antiques, which is pre-owned, second-hand pieces that we buy back. And it started with part of the reason why I joined the company is I actually buy pieces back for our own archives as well, which is very interesting. So we take some of these large collections, when we buy large collections, and we take them around the world. We have one here to show our clients and show our customers how long we've been around, how it justifies the brand, so to speak. There's not any other brand, well, there's a couple, but not any other brand that's exactly like we are.
What's a typical day for you in Denmark?
After I get up in the morning, I go to work. I work in Frederiksberg, where we have our silversmith. At Georg Jenson, we have 32 silversmiths, but not all of them are trained silversmiths. A lot of people don't understand, but there's a silversmith, and then there's something called a chaser. A silversmith is the person, generally men, big arms, and they're working on the pounding. Everything's made by hand, so they'll pound something into shape. If we take a bowl, for example, the bowl might be a round bowl, that will be pounded into shape by a silversmith. If that has what Georg Jenson is very well known for, hammering on it, very small hammer marks on the outside, all that is done by chasers, which happen to be a lot of times women. A typical day is to go down in the silversmith with these 32 fantastic people, and of those we have about 8 apprentices. We're working on several different projects at one time, and the silversmiths in general will be making a lot of noise and banging. There'll be a little bit of music going. And if you go into the back room where the chasers are, it's generally very quiet, and you hear more of a pitter-patter, ping-ping-ping noise all day long. So it's very interesting to watch these people work. Two different totally types of work, but and from then on, we have, as I spoke before, we have bespoke orders, so we might be having meetings with, we have an engineer that is also part of my group. And we sit down and we look at these new designs and talk with the customer, try to bring the customer in, usually virtually, usually via email. They might come to the shop through the silversmiths, because we do give tours to VIP clients in Denmark.
And I'm pretty sure you must be very care about Taiwan. Okay, that's why, it's a wonderful source here. But we are curious about why Taiwan market is so important.
First of all, is so important only because of hard work. The team here, the Taiwanese team, Julia, who's in charge of Taiwan, has been here 26 years.
Yeah.
And it takes, if you want a brand to have success, you have to show your client that you're willing to stay here. It's the only, I think it's the only way that you can get brand awareness is to continue, even through the ups and downs, that you're showing your clients you're here.
All right, we are pretty sure you will keep all the customers very happy. Okay, thank you very much for joining my show, and I hope you have a wonderful time in Taiwan.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
通常大众对北欧设计的印象，因为其线条素雅简单，极度向往日光及蓝天的设计精神，就解读是一种新乐活风。这次和 Greg 聊天，感受到他讲解品牌精神时，专注与细腻的态度，在品牌工作20多年的那份情感，流淌在他身上的血液，其实是相当传统的。 每一个银雕器皿的成型，是需要银匠与浮雕师手工细细斟酌每分每毫，雕塑成型，专注在自己的工作，并信任全球的工作伙伴。Georg Jenson 的银器王国还可以绵延好几个世纪呢。